Trey, while we have you here, I'd like to keep things inside the NFC, and let's get to the king of the North, Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers. Once again, they clinch the NFC North, and the Bears aren't the only team that Aaron Rodgers owns. He owns everybody else, but the Packers on Sunday barely outlast the Baltimore Ravens 31-30. Obviously, taking a look at a lot of angles from here. Eager for your thoughts, and then we'll talk about John Harbaugh here in a little bit and his decision to go for two rather than kicking the extra point. Your thoughts on just the Pack's continued dominance of the NFC North division?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm going to read you the entire list of head coaches in the history of the NFL that in their first 3 seasons won at least 10 games and went to the playoffs each one of those years. You ready? Here's the entire list. Matt LaFleur. That's it. It's the entire list of head coaches that have done that their first 3 years in the NFL. So congratulations and kudos to him. That might be in the Super Bowl era. I'll have to check that. But it's just a remarkable job by them. That was also the first time the Ravens in the Lamar Jackson era, even though he wasn't there, I'm just using that as a time frame, where they had lost to an NFC team. They had won 13 straight games against the NFC. And, they got off to a little ragged start, but Rodgers caught fire as he normally does. And, the Packers are really interesting because I feel like this is the third straight year where I think we're going to see them in the NFC Championship game. And the question then becomes is, will they be able to punch through when they finally get there? I really thought they were going to beat Tampa Bay last year. They were at home, at Lambeau, and I get it. There were no fans, but still, it's home at Lambeau, and Tom Brady was 43, and, he's played the cold weather games before, but, he's playing down in Tampa now. So it was just a really impressive win. The thing that I always get to is, like, the other receivers, Scantling and Brown, they're okay. The ball is going to Davante Adams. The ball is going to Davante Adams, and they still find a way to get him open. It's really a remarkable job because everyone knows that's the priority, to find a way to stop Tate, and they find a way to make it work every week. So, this whole I remember the offseason, people were talking, well, how will this affect the season when it begins? The acrimony between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers organization. It was never with the players. He felt that way last year. He was not happy with the organization. All that stuff is easy for Aaron to block out, get out there and go play with his guys. And once again, he's playing really well. He's playing, on an MVP level. I don't think he's going to be the MVP again this year, but he's going to be in consideration. It is just remarkable, though, that everyone knows to stop Green Bay, you've got to take Davante Adams out of the game, and nobody can do it. Nobody.
Well, the Ravens even went to the lengths, and I think this is the ultimate sign of respect too. And I think ESPN mentioned something what Rodgers had said to Davante Adams, because they were lining up a corner and then they were lining up a safety, another DB directly over the top, not on a hash mark, directly over the top of Adams.
Yeah.
That right there signifies a lot of respect, and just his ability to get open is unreal. And I know that's a discussion that we've had countless times on the show, is just how he is arguably the most dangerous weapon that is on the field in the entire NFL for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I just want to clarify that thing I said about LaFleur. It was since 1970. So it was since the AFL-NFL merger. Under the NFL as it's currently constructed, he's the only head coach to win at least 10 games in his first 3 seasons and make the playoffs. Or division title. So, it's crazy.
That is really good. I mean, his offensive scheme too. And look, I'm a big proponent of that because Trey, you know me, I cover the Denver Broncos. I watch an offense that is just so lethargic and not as modern. It's very frustrating. But I can tell you this, just watching Aaron Rodgers against the Ravens, you mentioned he caught fire. There were a couple passes that he had. There was one in a window of 3 Ravens defenders where the wide receiver didn't even get his head around. He's running his route, and all of a sudden he just turns barely. The ball's right there. Bam, catches it.
Yep.
Tightly contested coverage. That's what Rodgers does. He improvises. He makes things look so easy, especially when things break down. And he's doing this with an offensive line that's been decimated. A lot of guys that are playing in there as well. So